Hi everyone, I'm Liz Peterson, a sales process design and automation consultant. Welcome back to another one of my Pipedrive training videos. In today's video, I want to go over the step-by-step process you can use to import data into Pipedrive from a spreadsheet. If you have any questions after watching today's video, go ahead and leave a comment below. If you want to be notified about more content as it's released, go ahead and click the subscribe button. And if you want any additional support, whether it's one-on-one training or help with automations or integrations, feel free to click the link below to learn more about my consulting services. All right. With that, let's dive in. Before you import any data into Pipedrive, you want to make sure that data is super well organized in your spreadsheet. So one of the things that I do is I name every column of data with the type of object that I am importing. So for example, in this spreadsheet right now, I have person data, organization data, and deal data. So I'm going to be importing both a person, an organization, and a deal with every row of data that I have in this sheet. If you want to start with a template like this, you can export something from Pipedrive. So if you go to your Pipedrive and then more here and then go to import data, from here you'll click from a spreadsheet, and then here you can download samples just like the one that I have in this demo video. But again, really important, if you name each column of data with what type of data you're trying to import, you're going to save yourself a lot of kind of pain and agony down the road. So again, one other thing here, I have in each of these rows, again, person data, deal data, organization data. Each row of data is going to be linked in Pipedrive. So for example, with this Jessica Brown row, I'm going to have a person linked to an organization and then a deal linked to both that person and that organization. So if I, for example, just wanted to import, 100 different people and 100 different organizations and they're not related in any way, shape, or form, then I would want to have that on different rows within the spreadsheet. Otherwise, they will be interlinked if that data is on the same row. Okay, so now the colors. What do the colors mean? So these colors are just for me. It's my own little key that I've developed for what information I need to put in, what is optional, and what is a formula. So the gray columns, those are ones that I need to complete based on this data set that I am importing. I want to have the person information, email, and name. If I don't have an email, I kind of think, what's the point of importing the information? I want to have the organization name, and then I want to have the deal stage. If I don't have a stage for the deal, it's just going to end up kind of God knows where. So especially if you have lots of different pipelines, lots of different stages, you want to make sure that you indicate what stage you want that deal to be created in. Then these two red columns, these are formulas. So once I have everything in gray done, then I want to just take these formulas and copy them down. So this is just the person name formula. So getting the first name, last name together into one single field as well. And then for deal titles, I like the deal titles to be a representation of the person and the company. So this is just the formula that I have. And again, you're welcome to copy it. The formula that I have that pulls data from those other columns. So then over on the right, I have some columns that are white. These are optional. There are hundreds of optional columns of data that you could have. So I just have a few here as an example. So person phone number, that is a standard Pipedrive field. But then these two fields, these are actually custom fields that I've created in Pipedrive. So these are custom fields that I'll be populating with this data. Now, beyond this, there are loads more fields that I could add. So I want to show you where you can find all of the optional fields, optional columns of data that you could import based on your setup in Pipedrive. So back to Pipedrive, if you go to your company settings and then data fields, here you can see you have lead deal fields, person fields, organization, project, product, and project. I'm going to focus just on the first three, and I'm really going to focus on lead, deal, person, organization look very similar. So first at the top, you have any custom fields that you have added. So you could always add any of these. I have lots because this is my demo account. But then you get into a section called default fields. So these are fields that exist in Pipedrive out of the box. So any of these you could add. You see deal title, that's one of those that is kind of mandatory for us because we are creating deals. But there's also the owner of the deal, the value of the deal win probability, so on and so forth. Stage, right? That's one that we have as well. So those are the default fields. And then down at the bottom here, you get into system fields. So I like to say these are fields that exist and lots of people don't even know about. And that's fine. If you don't want to know about them, you can skip this part of the video. But every deal, every person, every organization, so on and so forth has an ID. So that's one field here. You're not going to ever add that, but it is a field you can use to update data in Pipedrive if you need to. But then here we have deal created time. We have, let's see, won time or lost reason, as well as status, which actually may be in the default field, but status, which is the deal open, won, or lost. So these fields are all ones that you could add, and depending on where the data is in the process of your sales process, you may or may not need to add some of these additional fields. So just pointing out that they do exist there. Now, one of these fields I actually do want to add, which is the deal owner. I want to add that because otherwise all of these deals are going to come in and are going to be created, assigned to the same person. I have a lot of automations in my pipelines tied to the deal owner where activities are created and assigned to the deal owner. So I don't want this to just be anyone. I want it to be the correct person. So I'm going to put in myself for some of these, and then I'm going to put in my teammate for some of the others. And again, this would be based on, who actually is going to own that relationship. So I've now added that deal ownership. And I could import this just like this, and I would get a person, a deal, and an org. But maybe I want to also have a note, or maybe I want an activity created right away when these deals are created because there's something that needs to get done. In that case, you can also add a column for notes, and that would get imported as a note field or as a note kind of object on the deal. Or you can also add activities. So I have this preset up here. So for activities, there are 4 fields you want to make sure that you have: the activity subject, the activity type, the activity due date, and then the activity assigned to user. So who needs to complete that activity? So I'm going to just go ahead and copy this for all of these here. Let me get that column header as well. Okay, and then I'm going to make the assigned to user be the same as the deal owner. So I'm going to just copy and paste that over. And then here I will go ahead and drag this down. The dates, that's fine. I may want to have this all be the same date, but it's fine if they're all a different date based on for this demo purpose. So the last thing I want to call out here is if you have kind of duplicate data in your sheet, Pipedrive's going to do its best to not create duplicates out of that data. So here's an example. I have 2 people that work at Horizon Enterprises, and what Pipedrive should do is only create one organization for Horizon Enterprises, and both of these people will be linked to that organization rather than creating 2 unique organizations. That is going to be based on, again, the data that you have. If there's a typo where something is misspelled, it's going to create 2 different organizations because it believes it's different. And then the same is going to be true for people. It's going to be looking at the email that you have, and if you have the same email for a same person multiple times in your sheet, it would only create 1 person. But again, the better data you have going in, the better data you're going to actually have in Pipedrive. So do your best to kind of dedupe in advance, or you might end up with a bit of duplication just because of misspellings and things like that Pipedrive can't readily detect. Okay, so now getting to the actual import. So I'm going to go ahead and download this as a CSV. And then I'm going to go to Pipedrive, back to that import data section, import from a spreadsheet, and then I'm going to upload the file and select that file that I just downloaded. Now, this can take anywhere from seconds to minutes, depending on the volume of data. So you can just leave it if it's taking a long time, come back to it. You'll end up on this page here once that sheet has been processed. So let me show you on the left-hand side here. This is the data from the spreadsheet. So this is the column header, and then it's giving me kind of the example data. Especially if I hover over, I can see more rows of data here. Okay. On the right hand side, this is telling me where it's going to map that information in Pipedrive. So you can see, because I have person, 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 it's done a good job of actually selecting the person detail fields. So using those icons, you can see this is person, this is organization, lead, which is synonymous with deal, lead and deal, so on and so forth. So you can see it's done a good job of mapping that. But if anything is ever wrong, you can go ahead and click the X and then just search for the field that you're actually looking for. You can see in this case, there's only one email, and then drag and drop it over, and you can make any adjustments if you didn't name your headers in a perfect way on the spreadsheet itself. So you can just check that all of this looks good, right? Organization name looks good. And then you're going to see some fields that have a little triangle on it. That means that Pipedrive wasn't able to map the data in the way that you had it. So if you click that triangle, then it'll tell you, hey, this is the information on the left that I couldn't map. Can you drag and drop it over to wherever the heck you want it on the right? So you can see I have lots of stages here. So that's why Pipedrive didn't know exactly which stage I meant. So I'm going to go down here, and it's the initial outreach sales. So I'm going to drag that over, and I'm going to click save. Then deal title, for whatever reason, Pipedrive doesn't ever find this one. So I'm just going to type in title. I want it to be the deal title, the money sign. So I'm going to drag and drop that over. And then source, clicking on this, you can see here it says, hey, we don't actually have conference as one of your source drop-down options. So I can either drag and drop, let's say I misspelled it and I said Google search instead of Google. I could drag and drop here and it would just update all of everything that says conference to Google, or I can create a new value right here. So I can say conference and then drag and drop and click save, and now it knows where to map it. Then any date fields, it's always going to ask you, hey, what format did you give me that date in? So based on your sheet, you're going to select the format that your date is in. This is correct here. Actually, wait, it's not date. So it's month, month, day, day, year, year, year. It's going to depend on, the format you had in your sheet. And I'm going to click save. And then you can see I don't have any errors, so I can click next to continue with the import process. So here it's saying, hey, if we detect duplicates, do you want us to merge those duplicates, or do you want us to create independent records? Merge data is usually the right answer 98% of cases. So if you're unsure, leave it here. If you're pretty sure you want, potential duplicates to be created, go ahead and select create multiple records. Then here it's just giving you a little preview of what is going to be imported. So your organizations, your people, and then your deals, so on and so forth. So you can double check that. And if it all looks good, then you can click start import. So again, similar to the spreadsheet, I don't know what that error was. It popped off right away. So similar to that spreadsheet getting imported, this can take, anywhere from seconds to an hour or more. So you can just leave it if you need to and come back to it, and it'll tell you when it's done. So here it tells me, hey, 39 items were added, 1 was merged, 0 were updated, and 0 were skipped. And that to me sounds right. So if I go back to my spreadsheet here, I had a total of 10 rows of data, and I was adding a person, a deal, an organization, and an activity for all of those. So that's a total of 40 things. But I said, hey, Horizon Enterprise, that one shouldn't get imported twice. So that would bring it down to 39. So just kind of spot checking on this, small set of data that I'm importing, those numbers all seem right to me, but I can also check it down below. So down below here, it's going to show you what was just imported. You can click the details to see what information was added, updated, merged. So if I click this here, I'll get a little pop out here as well. And then you do have a time where you can revert it. So especially especially if you're doing, hundreds of records or thousands of records. Just know that you can import and revert and import and revert and import and revert as much as you need to for, I think it's currently 48 hours. So if you import and then realize, oh, actually this is, not right, I need to start over, or I created a bunch of duplicates or whatever it is, just click the revert and start over, and your existing data in Pipedrive won't be affected. So then I'm going to just show you. So here in details, I can click here and I could go to any of these deals or things like that. But you can see also here, I have my 9 organizations, yay. But also I know where these are in the pipeline. So I'm going to just go to deals here, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh this here. So we had 11 deals and now we have 21. Fantastic. So that seems right, but also I can see these down here, or I could create a little filter based on that source, and I could double check that these are the exact 10 deals that I wanted, but it does look right to me. And then here, just so you can see all of the information that was added, we have the deal, right? We have the information on the timeline urgency as well as the source. We have the person information here, and then we have the organization information down below. And then also we have that activity with the planned due date and assigned to here, whoever we had as the deal owner. So if I go back here one more, here are the ones assigned to Rachel, and you can see these activities are assigned to Rachel, and Rachel is the deal owner. Again, in this video, I demonstrated how you can import people, organizations, deals, and activities using a spreadsheet. But again, you can use these same principles to just import people, for example, or to import people connected to leads. Same principles, you just want to have those column headers set up correctly, and all of the data will flow perfectly. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.